Hello, and thank you for joining us today on the Road to Recovery. I'm Ronda Jackson, your host, serial entrepreneur, and small business advocate, and today also co-parent. I'm a mother of two small boys, 17 and 8, and as our guest, I have parenting expert, Mr. Reginald Brass / former husband, and CEO and founder of My Child Says Daddy. Welcome, Reggie. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Now, right? Would I have said that a few years ago?
Right.
No.
Not in that courtroom. Not in that courtroom.
No, not in the courtroom. You were not my friend. You were not my friend. But ladies and gentlemen, that's what today's conversation is about, because the COVID-19 impacts, yes, our businesses, yes, our day-to-day lives, yes, our employees, but even more so our families and our children. And Reggie and I felt really strongly about sharing with you maybe our experiences, Reggie's expertise in his business on co-parenting under these crises and challenging circumstances, and then maybe things that move over and transition into a better life for us all. Thank you, Reggie, again for being here today. So
no problem. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So if you were to describe family in a word nowadays, what word would you use?
Family, and it always will be, is father, mother, child, children.
Oh, so that was like 4 words.
Excuse
that was
me?
like 4 words. I said that was like 4 words.
But that's what family is to me. It's always going to be the father, mother, and the children. That's what family is.
Okay, so it's a unit then.
It's a unit because, again, we can't have a family unless we get a mother and a father to even create a child. That's what the traditional family is. Mm-hmm. Is the father, mother, and the child. So we already know we have all the other family, but we're talking about our traditional family, which is the father, mother, and our child or our children.
Okay, very good. So then I like that. So as a unit then, based on your definition, then technically all of us are co-parent. If you are a man and a woman, or whatever your family unit is made up of, or whomever your family unit is made up of, and you have children involved, then you're equally a co-parent. Some of us just happen to live together. Some of us are co-parents with benefits. Some of us are, but for the most part then, two people together to raise a child in the same home or separate homes are by definition co-parents.
Co-parenting, exactly.
Yeah, and having that same goal.
And we should all have that same goal when it comes down to our children, even when we're in a new family, a blended family. Matter of fact, some people should even have a blended family because they can't take some people are jealous of the other person. So, and that puts a lot of strain on kids. So I would say that before you even try to think about a blended family is to go to therapy first, go to a relationship class, come into My Child Says Daddy, so we can talk about those things to see if everything is a good match.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So will you tell us a little bit more about My Child Says Daddy and what you do?
Well, for the most part, because, with my first wife.
That wasn't me.
No, right. That was a very, very bitter divorce, and I was being put out of my child's life, and I saw that the system was not there for families. I was not getting what I need, and what I needed was to be a part of my child's life, even though it's going through a divorce. My job as a parent is to be there for our child. And I believe that everybody should be there for their child. And I felt that there wasn't a place for men to go to get the results that they were looking for so that they can be a parent to their kids. A lot of us think that, the courts are set up for the mothers and mothers are always winning. But it's not about a win. Everybody loses if you're both not going to be a part of the child's life. That's what happens when we do live stuff.
Yes, that's what happens. You said everyone
loses if we're not going to be a part of the child's life. The child loses if the two parents are going to keep fighting. We need to learn how to love the child more than we love ourselves, so that we can both raise the child, and so the child can be happy as they grow up. As we can see, I think we did a damn good job, or still doing a good job, with our 17-year-old.
Yeah.
And I think he learned from the other ones as they messed up. I think he's like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna do that.
Right. No. So what Reggie's referencing is he has 2 other older children, in addition to our son together. So
Yeah.
So big, huge blended family.
Right.
So then, Reggie, one of the things that I thought about when you were describing fathers wanting to be in their families' lives, and you and I were talking about doing this show, was people using, and I'm saying people, women and men, using COVID-19 as an excuse to keep the other parent out of the child's life.
Oh, without a doubt. With me having this this organization, it started because mothers were keeping fathers away from their kids. So all they need is a excuse. And of course, this COVID-19, I'm still getting a lot of calls where the mothers are using this as a leverage to keep the child. Now, some parents are still picking up their kids. So even some of my celebrity parents. As I talked to Dame Dash, he's still picking up his kid, but at the same time, he's like, I'll let her stay over there as well, because he's like, okay, I don't want to do too much driving or get her caught up in it. But some celebrities are still doing the exact same thing as far as taking care of the kids and doing the right thing.
Right. So then as a family unit, that we, even with precautions, with safety, taking in consideration the CDC and wearing the mask, the city ordinance, we should still be operating as families then.
Oh, well, without a doubt. I mean, again, with this COVID-19, everybody is under stress, duress, pissed off, angry, maybe drinking, lost their jobs. That losing your job is going to bring on maybe up your stress level even 10 times higher when you don't have no money. And especially for us fathers, men, our manhood sometimes is built in how much money we bring to the table.
Right.
You're not able to bring money to the table, and you're not able to see your child. That's just going to up the stress level.
Okay. You gave me a staggering statistic about domestic violence being on the rise right now.
Oh, yes, it is. Matter of fact, you can watch it on the news every day now.
Yeah. Where
domestic violence is on the rise because, again, people are stressed, angry, don't know how to deal with this. COVID-19, they don't know what's going on. And what I would say is you really want to try to continue to do your everyday thing. Even though you may be out of work, this may be the perfect time for you to start your own business or figure out what can you do. Instead of saying, I can't pay the rent, say, how can I figure out how to pay the rent? It's the way that we make our statements, our open statements, is that keep us in that pigeonhole.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So affirming to ourselves that there's a way out, that there's some possibility.
There has to be a way out. You take a look at our forefathers, the stuff that they went through. I mean, that was COVID-19 because they couldn't have jobs and couldn't read. They was going through their own COVID-19. So this is nothing for us. Yeah. We should be able to run through this with no problem and still be able to do the right thing as far as taking care of our kids.
That's a really great perspective. So I would call slavery COVID-1. I would call
right.
the Great Depression COVID-2, the plague COVID-3.
Right.
No, it's not a joke, but I truly understand what you're saying, that there's been, as a community, as a world, we've had adversity in our lives before. It's just how we,
how you deal with that. You deal with that. And again, parents, they want to see their kids. If the father want to see their kids and vice versa. The child want to see both parents. Matter of fact, the child want to see both parents together. Yes. If you really ask the child, you're like, I don't know. But again, take a look at what we're doing. That child, look at, and we need to use our child as an example. Look at what we were able to do as far as raising him, and we're both being on the same page where he can't learn how to manipulate the situation.
Yeah, no.
None at all. You're like, okay, whenever he, something's going on, you have him call me or vice versa, or find out what's going on. You call your dad, see what's going on. Right. As long as we're on that same page,
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's kind of piece that apart, because maybe that's something that will help other families. You and I were married for a little under 5 years. We've been divorced for obviously 12 of those 5 years. Our son's 17. And so what was one of the skills, I would say, I'll call it a skill, that you and I had to learn or share in order to get on the same page to raise Jackson?
I think, we both wanted the best for him, as far as, and you, where you come from, I know you big on education, as far as putting him in the right school or whatever, and those expensive ass schools that I couldn't afford, but, now, well, that's what it was. And again, I didn't have the money to to put in. But now I got a little bit more. I finally got some kind of work coming in where I can, help do those kind of things. And I think I always know that as long as I always had a house, if I need to do something, I could always sell it and say, hey, look here, because that's what's best for him.
Mm-hmm. So what I heard you say is that you got to a point where you understood that you had to be willing to invest. And in some shape and forms, I just want to clarify on my end that didn't always translate into dollars and cents. Sometimes that translated into you doing pickups or you doing drop-offs or you doing the after school stuff so that I could work or that I could pursue things that would, generate revenue that would allow me to provide some of those things. So I feel like that even, and this is why in the opening statement saying that even if you're not physically in the same house, you're still constantly co-parenting, because that sounds like the day-to-day life of most married couples that I talk to, who's picking up, who's dropping off, so that juggle and that maneuvering still has to happen. And I think as people that we need to value what the other person can invest. And to your point earlier about, hey, what can I do in this situation? But what can you do? And I think the fact that you were willing to, give the time or give the energy or, contribute in those ways was really helpful.
Oh yeah, I believe in dropping at a dime and then let me go pick up my kid. You got to. I don't care. I got to go. I got to go pick up my kid. I believe in. Hey, look, I believe in taking care of my kids. We have a good relationship and things are going quite well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's really blossoming. So I think speaking on that same topic, in making the decisions to share or not to share, I know that there's different types of custody arrangements, different type of child support arrangements and things like that. Can you talk to us a little bit about, I guess, some of that terminology, the joint and full and,
I think, you're talking about the joint custody,
and full custody. And what that means for the opposite parent and.
Well, what I do is I tell my parents, don't even get caught up with the joint custody, the joint legal custody, the joint physical custody. Don't get caught up in that.
Okay.
Just be a parent to your child. If you be a parent to your child, you're not worried about the legal part because that's all for attorneys to make money off of us. That ain't nothing but a joke. I'm not the secondary parent. I'm a parent, so I go to court. I'm a parent. When I deal with you, like, okay, yeah, well, here come the joint parent. Come on in here. You got your joint legal. Come on in here. No. I'm the parent, I'm his dad, vice versa. And, with you being his mother, it's like, hey, look, when we're at one of his events, they would never think that we were divorced. But that's the way that we as parents need to conduct ourselves when we're dealing with these issues. Mm-hmm. Because the child benefits from it all. So I would say, any parent, do not get caught up with the joint legal, the joint physical, or the primary. Just be a parent to your child.
I like that. Be a parent to your child. One of the other things I would say that really blossomed how we handle our roles as parent is the communication. That the standards and the expectation for our child was the same unilaterally, whether he was at your house or in your care or at my house and in my care. And even if he's at my house, I could still call you to enforce the things or to help explain and share the things that were set as an expectation.
Right. If the little time that he did get on punishment, we was able to work those things out. Just like you said, you call me, hey, look, he can't do this because he's still on punishment. That way, now the child has not learned how to manipulate the situation. Oh, I'm going to go to my dad. There's going to be Disneyland and hot dogs and McDonald's. But no, your mother called me and told me, hey, look, this is what's going on, or vice versa. So therefore, and once he realized that, he was like, okay, for the most part, he turned out to be a pretty good kid, just like any other parent. We had our one little doohickeys with him, but other than that, he's been great.
Okay, yeah, I truly consider myself very lucky. It could have been a whole other, but truly, truly lucky. So then.
But that comes from good parenting. That's because you and I both want the same thing. We're on the same page, trying to get him to the next level in doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're both kind of liberal, especially with the way that we do things. And what did your mother say? What did your father say? Okay, hey, look, okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that the other part of that too is just, like I said, the communication. Uh-oh, sorry.
No problem.
Live
And
TV.
edit that out.
No, I mean, I truly, like I said, I think it comes from the communication, us being on the same page, having that talk about, what do you want for Jack? I want the same thing. And then that was just the goal and the mission. And I think that it's hard to have all those other personal feelings because some of those things are just you or I being selfish if it's not about Jackson, right?
Oh, without a doubt.
So
Without a doubt.
once we stay on that page. So what advice, I guess, would you give parents, families, even the kids today, COVID-19, families are stressed, parents are, things are a little hot-headed here and there. How would you, what advice would you give families in coping and balancing out life right now?
Again, I would say as long as you keep talking to your kids and acting as everything is normal, hey, look, making sure that they're hanging out with some of their friends, talking to their friends because they have their own little community.
Mm-hmm.
You and I, we're a little bit more liberal, and I think some of his parents, some of his schoolmates, their parents are liberal, just as liberal as we are. So we don't have no problem with him having a girlfriend. So they're able to kind of talk and kind of keep things, somewhat normal.
Yes.
But and I know they're stressed out too. It's like, well, how you doing? What's going on with your car? Just try to keep everything as normal as possible. You're working out. We can't go to the gym, but when I talk to him, like, yeah, I'm going to go work out. I'm about to go do this. So it's like, okay, go run around, make sure that you put in a couple of miles because you still got to keep everything up. So I think as long as parents, at least, again, try to keep everything as normal as possible, checking in with the kid if you're doing okay, what's going on, you want to go for a walk, what's your itinerary for us, what's your itinerary, can I see you?
Right, can I schedule some time with you?
Right.
Pencil me in. Pencil
me in. Can we do this week? I said, yeah, come on. I want to talk to you this weekend. So yeah.
Okay.
It's we have that conversation, and for those other parents, when you do this co-parent stuff, your child does not want to talk to you 24/7 on the phone. You are not going to get no 10-minute phone call with your kid. Don't even think about it.
No.
I don't care what age your kid is. You're not going to get no 10 to 20-minute phone call. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to get a 10 to 20-minute phone call, you're trying to check on the other parent. So stop all that crap.
It out.
Right.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amidst all of the challenge that's happening right now, to find some joy and to remember the joy of parenting and the family and why most of us did this in the first place, why we wanted to be parents or get pregnant and share something, and to really see that as a gift and to go on and continue to pursue that and make sure that, kids come out happy and healthy.
It's the best job in the world.
Best job in the world.
It was the best job in the world. I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world. Oh. Coming from being broke, having money, going back to broke, and now trying to get some, I would never change it for nothing in the world. Parenting is the best job in the world.
Beautiful. So then will you tell everyone how to get in touch with you, Reggie, if any of the tidbits and things that you've shared today have helped them in their lives and they'd like to continue a conversation with you?
All you got to do is give us a call at 866-72-DADDY. That's 866-72-32339. Or you can call us at 310-642-8816. My child said, Daddy is open every single day.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you again, Reggie. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.